Some of you might be game for a laugh. Some of you might want to have a little sing-song and give us your best versions of You Are the One That I Want. This is all through our new WhatsApp feature. And my goodness, you didn't disappoint.
You are the one I want, Ten Hag. You are the one I want, Ten Hag. The one I need, bald head indeed.
I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control.
Sandy, can't you see I'm in misery?
'Cause the power you're supplying, it's electrifying. You better shape up, 'cause I need a man, but my heart is set on you.
Why you left me, Sandy?
That was a little medley of Grease songs, wasn't it? With a bit of the Sandy one there and the You're the One That I Want. They were really good.
Yeah, not bad.
I quite enjoyed that. I tell you what, you'd set them a challenge, and our listeners do what we ask. They are brilliant. Thank you very much for doing that. They were good.
Yeah.
No? I like obviously the Man United fan, slightly
Ten
changing
Hag,
words.
you're the one I want, yeah.
Clever, like that one. Very good. I'm sure this new WhatsApp feature is going to be great, isn't it? We're going to get lots of this interaction now. It's brilliant. Right, it's time for this.
What is the answer?
No debate from me. He's not telling the truth. I think about that hour ago. Yeah, I think about that.
It's baffling me.
I'll be shocked. I don't agree with you.
What could it be?
It might take a couple of weeks to think about it. I don't think there's any debate.
I know the answer.
Perfect cocktail. I kept thinking to myself, bonkers.
I don't know what that last one's about. He's bagged goals for Chelsea, Villa, Marseille, represented the Republic of Ireland and at multiple tournaments. But of course, the most important thing is he was once named the Evening Standard Player of the Month, although he doesn't know what month that was. So who better to ask the most important and burning questions in sport than our very own Tony Cascarino? As we say, help us, Tony. Cass.
Right.
Lots of burning questions, like I say, and some topical, like this one. TNT Sports have won the rights to show the FA Cup from 25-26 in what is a 4-year deal with the FA. With all televised games currently being free to air, is this a huge kick in the teeth for fans?
So does that mean there is going to be no games now on free?
I think there will be a selection, and I think maybe the final will still be. I have to clarify that, but I think that is
because that's the question. Is one of the great things about the FA Cup is obviously teams get on TV that you'll never see, and they're on terrestrial TV, which is great, and it's a fantastic boost for the FA Cup. Without that, if it's a case of very limited or even none. No, it's not good for football.
There will be some, and I think, like I say, the final will still be on. I get the financial incentive, perhaps. And maybe it's going into the FA, but then the FA, I guess, will dish it out. But is there some... We talk about certain sports being untouchable, maybe?
Competitions.
Yes.
Yes.
Competitions, let's say, like the FA Cup. Should that be one that just should always be available free to air and not behind a paywall of some variety?
I think it's really special to keep the game that's, watched by so many people in this country. Because so often people say to me that they don't watch Premier League games because they don't have all the channels, but then they'll say, "Oh, I saw the FA Cup tie," and it's a special feeling, especially for the clubs lower down the pyramids in football.
Absolutely.
So of course it's a very special competition.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to this one. In the latest episode of Simon and Souness, Graham claimed a manager has to win the Champions League to be considered a legend.
Right.
Is that right?
Well, we're only talking about a certain category of managers then, aren't we?
Yes.
The guys that are at the helm at the elite clubs. So...
But by that reckoning, someone like an Arsene Wenger would not be a managerial legend.
Well, he is. there's no way that you can get away from that debate. He is a legend.
Yeah.
His achievements were extraordinary. Bobby Robson, I don't think he won the Champions League, did he? Even when he was at Barca.
European Cup.
No, I don't think so. But it's the same competition.
But then the alternative is Roberto Di Matteo did win it with Chelsea. What do
Yeah.
you think of him as a
and he
managerial
was
legend?
only there a year and a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah,
it
wasn't there very
exactly. So no, I wouldn't go along with that. There is always an example of someone doing something special, but Arsene Wenger's legacy in football is way beyond the
that's it.
Champions League.
Surely that's what a legend is. It's the legacy. It's the imprint you make.
20 odd years of. I mean, he's a bad example in that argument because he was a legend, is a legend. He was the manager of the Invincibles, and he created a brilliant Arsenal team over a number of seasons. So, no, I think that's not really fair.
And to a debate that we spoke about yesterday off air, on an extraordinary day of darts at the Players' Championship, the crowd were treated to not one, not two, but 3 9-dart finishes, all in the space of an hour. This week, we've also seen a 147 in snooker and a hole-in-one at the Genesis on the PGA Tour. So, Cass, out of those 3, that's a 9-darter, hole-in-one and a 147 in snooker, which is the hardest to achieve?
Well, I could give you the easiest first, if that makes it easier.
Go on then, easiest.
The easiest is the hole-in-one.
Why is it easiest?
Why? Because Joe Public can go and get a hole-in-one.
Okay.
If
I hear what you're saying. Okay.
There's no way on earth a 9-darter can be done by just a guy who plays darts now and again. It's just they wouldn't be able to do it. And they couldn't do a 147. You're talking about an accumulation of things you need to do. A 147 is potting a lot of balls and being in position brilliantly. I would probably say the 147, even though it's happened quite a lot of the absolute elite. But if you weren't an elite snooker player, you wouldn't get close to 100.
Yeah.
That is a really difficult feat. So I would say the hardest is the 147, then go darts, and then by a country mile, golf would be the easiest, even though I've never done one. I play golf. I've never done one.
It does seem a bit baffling to say that a hole-in-one...
No, but many people
But I
have.
understand what you're saying. Yes, I know completely. But just talking about it, you think a hole-in-one isn't that easy. But yes,
No,
you're right.
of course it's not
Amateurs can
easy.
easily... I say easily, you know what I mean? In comparison to what
You
we're
will have
comparing
that
it to.
somewhat of a lucky shot on. It's only one stroke, isn't it?
Yes.
Whereas
Yeah.
a snooker, you're using your cue how many times to get a 147? I don't know that, but you're doing a lot of shots. And darts, you're using 9 darts. So in numbers, I'm using maths here. Snooker has to be the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. There you go. That was
If
a
that's
debate.
a good argument or debate.
No, it's a good one. We were talking about that yesterday before we came on air. Just quickly, I want to read out some messages. Thank you very much for those that WhatsApped us and also texted us. Graham says, after 2 good 3-1 wins for Chelsea and a highly credible draw away to the champions, Chelsea may have turned the corner. I thought this before, but there was much more team in these performances, he says. I'm optimistic for a meaningful pre-season and next year. So that's Graham, who is a lifelong Chelsea fan. This one was, can we give a shout out to Leeds fans yesterday? They made a 660 round trip to Plymouth yesterday for a 12:30 kickoff, sold out an away end, and were very vocal.
Weekend Sports Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.